Who was Mapule as a child?
Looking at my mother, I needed her to grow fast. She will always say, if I die tomorrow, I need to make sure that you can take care of yourself.
You got this. Hello, everyone. This is your girl, Massy, and today I have someone really special from my Adidas team. It is my pleasure to have you here, Mapule. Queen Fitness, okay?
And
This South African beauty who I have the pleasure to work with. I mean, hello.
Hello, Massy. Thank you so much for having me.
I think you're really inspiring, and I know that your story is going to inspire a lot of people. So listen up. We're about to go deep. I want to start with you as a kid. Who was Mapule as a child?
Sure. Very playful child. But as life would have it, I grew up in so many places. I moved quite a lot because of the situation that my mother was in. So we had to move quite a lot to all find a place where we can lay our head and be safe. And when things were going bad on her side, she would take me to my aunt or my grandmother or just family friends so that she can put herself together. And when things are okay, she will take me back. So which made it very hard for me to see and someone that I look up to and be like, this is who I would like to be. There was so much confusion and no direction and loneliness because I'm also an only child. So that made it very hard. But playing, I used to play a lot. I think that was my safe space and just listen to music as a child. And yeah, that was me. A lot of moving and a lot of confusion, a lot of sadness. And looking at my mother, I needed to grow fast because she will always say, I need you to be independent because you see the situation that I'm in. If I die tomorrow, I need to make sure that you can take care of yourself. So yeah, every day was like, you need to be a good child and you need to be able to take care of yourself because if someone else has to take you in, you can't be a burden.
You were telling me that you are from a side of South Africa that is not the most favorable.
Yes, it's a township in South Africa, in Joburg, called Alexandra. It's actually the oldest township. It's just over 100 years and more, a couple of years. So there isn't a lot of people that you would look up to. Like everybody that makes it, they leave. So it's not like you wake up and there's mentors and there's people that you look at and be like, oh, this is what I want to do. This is who I want to be. It's not close. It's always stuff that you see on TV. And that for me sparked something that made me realize I wanted to be an inspiration. I wanted to be that for someone else because I didn't have that for myself. I wanted someone from my township to look at me and be like, if she can do it she didn't have anything, she doesn't come from like privilege, but all she had was a desire in her heart to do better.
So in that story of you are in an environment that is not the most favorable, being the only child, having displacement, not knowing where you were going to be, you talk about a feeling of you wanted to be better. And when we were outside, I said to you that I believe some people just have an innate desire to survive, and they feel like they are special, and not special from the point of view of having this privilege, as some can interpret that as, oh, she thinks she's better off, but knowing deep down that this just can be it. Can you explain what that feeling is for the young girls, for the people that are listening, that know maybe something that they may not maybe put it out into action? What's that feeling?
Sure. I'm going to share a small thing that sparked that feeling. It's the environment that I was in, where firstly, I could see that I need to grow up fast. And number two, I could see that I needed to be stronger for my mother, for my grandmother. I cannot let this generational thing continue. I needed to be the one. I've always known that I'm different, because I'm like, for the fact that I can recognize that this is not it, that made me realize like I'm different, because I can recognize that I need to do better. I need to choose better for myself. But it was also a feeling of, like, how can I put this? A feeling of, I know I can do something beyond believing in something that doesn't even exist. You have a feeling of, surely there's something bigger than myself, and I want to tap into that. And I believe that our gifts, they create opportunities for us if you tap into them. You don't have to worry about how things happen. The things, they will happen how they're supposed to happen, because truly in your heart you desire it, in your mind you think you see it, and with your mouth you say it. So you'll give it so much life. And it was on my birthday, 2012, when someone saw me at the local gym, and with all the amazing people who were there, said, I think there's something about this girl. Would you like to study fitness? It's not because I woke up and decided, oh, I'm going to study fitness. No. I was running to clear my mind. I was running to cry, because I can't cry in front of my mother, my grandmother. They're also having their fair share of struggles, and I need to be strong for them. Surely there's something big and better for me, because I need to change all of this. The generation that I'm bringing into this world, they can't experience what I've experienced. It's not going to happen when I'm still alive.
What was the toughest time in your life? The one that maybe just catapulted you to be the person that you are today?
Sure. To be honest, I've had many tough times, but the one that was very hard is, I actually have to. So I studied exercise science, and I realized that I wanted to be a personal trainer. So I had to pay for my fees again to obviously continue my studies. I wasn't getting paid much. So I needed to get to work at 4 a.m. I decided the money that I'm using for private transport is the money that I'm going to use to save up and pay for my fees. And I decided I'm going to run at 3 a.m. to get to work. Mind you, I told you that Alex is not as safe. It's not as safe and it's not, especially at 3 a.m. It's not about the running. The running I can do. It's about the time when I leave the house at 3 a.m. and having to make sure that I get to work at 4, because I did say I will be able to be at work at 4, and my work is a blessing, and I cannot sabotage that because I can't make a plan. So I had to come up with a plan, and my plan was I'm going to run and get to work and show up and do what needs to be done and save up money to continue with my studies so I can be a personal trainer. And I did that. And another moment was when they told me that I wouldn't be able to afford the rent at this exclusive gym in Sandton. And I said, okay, I need to prove that I can afford the rent. I'm going to continue running and save up so that I can prove to you I have the money in my account to be able to pay the rent. So I continued doing that. But yet, I had a big desire to be like, because I fell in love so much with fitness, with exercising, because I would think clearly. There was a sense of peace. It just made me feel so good. Like, to a point where I'm like, I would like to help people experience what I'm experiencing. And I would see all these magazines and I wouldn't see a representation that I'm like, oh, I'm represented there. And I wanted that for myself. I said, you know what? I'm going to represent. If nobody's representing me, I'm going to represent the younger me. And I wanted to be on the cover of a magazine. I wanted it with my heart, my mind, and my words. So I entered a competition and I won. But the amazing thing was, because of my story and how I got into fitness and how I was inspiring everyone, even the team at Adidas said, I mean, there's something about this girl. We know she doesn't have a big following, but her story is amazing, and the person that she is. That's why I said your gift will create opportunities for you. So many years later, I've already been on like 6 covers, and I've already represented fitness, and I can confidently say that I've given an opportunity to so many girls who are now comfortable and confident to be in the space of fitness, and they are recognized. And I'm glad that I was able to pave that way for so many other girls. They looked at me. I used to hate my body, because then it's like when you look all over and masculine, it's like you look like a man type of vibe, or you feel like people are looking at you as just the body. They don't know. It's not about the depth. It's not about who you truly are, what you stand for. So, and I hated that. But years later, I realized that I have a gift. I have something special that I can use, a tool to use to be able to teach other people and speak to them and educate them and inspire them with. And I started embracing the way I am. I started embracing the maps with the muscles, and and I started embracing the maps who's strong and who does all these crazy exercises, and she does it with a smile, and she's so happy because it does make me happy. It's not even, how people would curate things. It's never like that. I'm genuinely happy when I train and I'm listening to my music. You saw me how I was dancing.
Yeah.
Every second I'm here.
I was dancing with you.
And you danced with me. I was like, yes.
And, to add to what you were saying, I think a lot of people do not realize that everyone is showing their bodies. It's a representation of their feelings and what they're going through and their stressors. Stress can be a good thing. It's not always bad.
That's true. If you use it in a positive way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I often talk about how I process my emotions through my body, through physical exercise. And when you look at people who are supremely fit, meaning they look like action figures, usually they're processing their emotions through exercise.
That's exactly what I was doing. That's exactly what I was doing. I was processing, and which is a positive way of doing it. I train, some of very important people who would say, Maps, some of the best decisions I've made is when I was with you training. And my mind, because this question is lingering in my mind, and I exercise, and then it hits me. I'm like,
You are someone who is obviously very confident, but do you ever think about your calling? What do you think is your calling?
To be honest, I've always felt like my calling is to create another generation of women that think like me or better than me and see life way bigger than I see it.
What does that look like for you?
The things that I've done, someone else look at them and be like, oh, that's unreachable. And the things that I wish to do, someone looks at them and be like, oh, that's so little. You can do way better than that. I think I feel like I need to get to a level where I can also have a space to be a blessing to other people, in the sense that for me to be here, someone took a chance on me. And I need to get to a point where I have an ability to take a chance on other people, and the ability to recognize that light that someone recognized in me, be able to see beyond what's here, to say there's something about this person, and help them change their lives. So my vision is to get to that level, the point where I can change other people's lives, whether through fitness or through the ability to be able to take them to school, or to educate them, or to have like a conversation that will spark change in someone, or growth, or the way of looking at life. I think every single day I am still given an opportunity to do that, which I appreciate and I'm grateful for. But I would like to do it on a much bigger scale.
Well, we're starting right here. We're starting right here.
Yeah.
Because I know that this story is going to inspire a lot of people, and you're already doing amazing things. You get to travel the world with a company that believes in everyone and believes in you.
And me. And for love.
And for a very long time, because it's almost going to be 10 years. So you know that you are, what you represent you're solid.
Yeah. And
that's amazing that someone can say they have been with a company for 10 years.
Yeah. I've been at it, and I've been consistent, and I think it's also because I've been so authentic and true to who I am. And that it's something that you find rare lately, is everybody's trying to be everybody else, And I'm like, that's where your light is. That's where you shine the most, when you're actually choosing not to be like someone else. Because you're going to be lost in the midst of everything that looks the same. Be different. And if you bet on yourself and be confident in that, it might irritate other people, and that's not your business to make everyone happy. The right people are going to come, the right people are going to see you, and it takes just one person to say, I see something, and your life can just be changed like that. But sometimes it looks like it was an overnight thing. It usually isn't. It's because there was a true desire, and being true to yourself. That's where authenticity is. Being honest with yourself to say, this is who I am and this is what I stand for, and stand on business. Don't forget to work out, guys. I'm telling you, that's when you genuinely would discover the true self, when you're in that space of training. Because when you go home and you're alone and you're thinking, and the endorphins have kicked in, and you just say, let me take a moment, take that shower, things come to you. your mind, you just listen to it. Try and quiet the noise. And I like the fact that exercise can do that while you're trying to figure out how to breathe. You realize, oh, I didn't know that breathing is so hard until I started exercising, you know? So you get to be more in touch with yourself and feeling on like and appreciating the muscles. And you're like, okay. And appreciating yourself and being grateful for being able to move. I think we take it for granted.
Very much
And if
so.
you can do the other amazing things with your body, that's like a next level. You should be grateful twice. Yeah.
What piece of advice you return to again and again when you need it?
The piece of advice I would tend to when I need it is to trust, to have faith, like really trust in the process. You have to accept that you may not be able to control everything, but if you really trust that things are working out for you, and I like the fact that exercise makes you think positive, because we fight with our mind on whether choosing positive or negative. And the problem is, if you feed the negative thought unintentionally, so it will bear results, unfortunately. So you need to have the ability to catch yourself and think positive. And sometimes you gotta lie to yourself and be like, I'm going to trust the process, until you actually believe it, that you trust the process. But with that being said, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do the things that you're supposed to do. You are trusting the process while you're doing what you're supposed to do, the things that will align you to where you're trying to go. If I want lots of money, I can't just trust that it's just going to come.
You can manifest it. Manifest it. It's going to come.
It may come because, things work in mysterious ways, but I can also do the things that will help me be financially independent, you know? If I do that, then I'm setting up for being able to embrace and sustain and live in my blessings with so much grace and gratitude, you know?
What I really wanted to ask everyone is their why. Because the ability to inspire, whether it's 10,000 people, millions of people, right? The people that are behind the screen, they don't know that we're made out of the same material, and that if you really stay consistent and if you really follow that path, because you said something really interesting that people think is just like overnight. I have worked so hard. I work so hard. People have no idea the loops that I have to jump on every single day to be in the rooms or the opportunities it is very hard. And I really wanted to have this conversation with you because I think I know that you are the example of just resilience, that you had absolutely every opportunity to fail. To fail, like literally. I'm just going to give up.
Yeah, to choose a different route completely.
And there's a ton of people that's their starting point. It's not favorable, but that was not an excuse for you to not strive for greatness. So you're an amazing human being.
Thank you. I had to choose different. I felt it in me that I need to be different. And I embraced different. And I took charge and I was like, this is me and this will create opportunities for me. Because now it completely changed my life, to be honest. I think me running by myself and having that conversation, because it was truly from my heart, I didn't know what I needed to do, to be honest. If they had offered me to study anything, I would have taken it. And it happened to be fitness. And I'm still very grateful till today for that day that I chose. I could have said, oh, it's my birthday. I'm going to stay home and live my best life. I said, no, I'm going to go exercise. I mean, the roads are not user friendly. So I ended up joining a small gym in Alex. That's where the Institute came to donate a few things. And mind you, there were other amazing people there. But there's such a blessing with being in touch with your younger self, I think I like the music because it always reminds me of not being carefree and just being in the moment and just vibrating high because you're not thinking about bills and thinking about this one and that one. And in that moment, when you're just smiling and having fun and someone says there's something about this person. And yeah.
Do you have any thoughts, anything that you want to leave the audience with?
One thing, which I think it's been said so many times, you can't pour out of an empty cup. You will run out. It's important sometimes to be selfish, and I will speak to the mamas. You deserve to take care of yourself. It's very important. It's because I train a lot of women who take up everything on their shoulders. And I'm grateful that I get to be a place where they can refill their cup. So I take that very serious, and I do it with so much love and with so much empathy for them because I can see how hard it is. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much for being here and doing this with me. I really hope that you all feel inspired, and I'll see you on the next one.